Hey there, and welcome to the Enduro Bureau's Round 5 recap and analysis of the 2025 Fmsq Canadian National Cross Country Championship, this time coming to you from Crabbe Mountain, New Brunswick. Let's take a look at how things shook out, starting with the pro man. Tyler Medaglia came into round 5 in the start of the second half of the series, riding high with a commanding lead in the overall after winning each of the first 4 rounds. He kept that streak alive out in the Maritimes by pulling off a fifth straight win ahead of Loic Leonard, Alex Goujon, Phil Cheney, and Jake Michaud. This one, though, was without question the most interesting race of the 2025 FMSQ season so far, as it turned into a tire strategy battle. Let's dig into this a bit. Crabbe Mountain is a ski resort in New Brunswick, just east of the Maine border. While it's not a huge hill in comparison to big eastern resorts like Mont Tremblant and Mont Saint Anne, it still has significant elevation in XC racing terms. And the FMSQ course builders took full advantage of that elevation with fast grass track uphills, some tricky side hill sections, and technical downhills in the woods. This course is absolutely littered with loose shale rock on pretty much every inch of the track, which saw all the series frontrunners choosing to go with a gummy rear tire for this very dry race. The calculated risk was, of course, whether a gummy could hold up to 2.5 hours of XC speed on such a steep, rocky track. Coming into the race, the common story from riders not named Medaglia was that they needed to be right on the series leader's rear wheel from the start and to be applying constant pressure in order to hopefully force him into a mistake on what was the most technical track of the season to date. As it turns out, the field was handed a gift off the start when Medaglia's bike failed to fire on the flag drop. After the race, Medaglia noted that he installed a new head on his bike, and in combination with starting in neutral, this caused him issues getting the bike going. He ended up coming off the line several seconds behind everyone in dead last. Loic Leonard, running third overall in the series, took the whole shot in the lead and managed to open a small gap heading into the second lap, with Alex Goujon and KTM teammate Phil Cheney sitting in second and third. Medaglia had a stellar recovery from his atrocious launch to come into the second lap in fourth place, just ahead of Jake Michaud. By the lap 2 checkpoint, though, Leonard had faltered, losing just under 30 seconds to the other 4 members of the lead group of 5. By the start of lap 3, Medaglia had opened up a small lead over Goujon and Cheney, and that was all he needed to start checking out off of the front of the race. Medaglia set the fastest times on laps 2, 3, 4, and 5 to build a lead of 124 over Goujon and 144 over Cheney. Leonard was still back in fifth, trying to catch Jake Michaud in fourth before the pit stops at the end of lap 5. Those pit stops turned out to be pivotal, as Goujon and Cheney opted to swap out rear wheels from gummies to the more multi-purpose AT82s in hopes of using the new tires to catch Medaglia on his quickly wearing gummy. The strategy ultimately failed, though, as the series leader was able to nurse his tire over the next 3 laps to take the win. Leonard, who had caught Michaud, also chose to keep his gummy on in his stop and was able to get past the KTM pair for second place, which he would maintain to the finish, actually setting the fastest laps 6, 7, and 8 in the process. Even though it didn't work, we think that this was a great gamble by the KTM duo. Goujon needed to win the final 4 rounds of the series to control his own fate in terms of defending his championship, and it was clear that Medaglia had been racing on another level and wasn't showing any signs of cracking. At the same time, Cheney's slow start to the series meant that he needed to push hard and take chances to have any hope of bumping Leonard out of the top 3 overall. Realistically, both these riders needed to do something very different to try and shake things up. Yes, this gamble ultimately failed and likely cost Goujon second place in the race and Cheney third place, but they are both in nothing ventured, nothing gained territory. We appreciate their out of the box thinking. After the pit stops, Medaglia was into race and tire management mode, setting the second, third, and fourth fastest laps over the last 3 laps. After the race, he commented that he thought his tire and mousse were shredding over the final 2 laps, and he was just trying to get to the finish. Luckily, his big lead heading into the pit, combined with Leonard's lap 2 issues, gave him enough cushion to cruise home for the win in what is now a substantial 17-point overall championship lead with 3 rounds left to go. He fully controls his own fate now, needing only to average third place finishes to win it all, assuming that Goujon wins those last 3 rounds. Over in the pro women's race, it wasn't a surprise to see series leader and defending champion Véronique Pellerin-Chainé take home the win in a race that she described as smooth and unproblematic. Pretty much the only thing that Vero didn't accomplish on the day was the hole shot. And aside from that minor hiccup, she set the fastest lap times on each of the 5 laps to come home with a minute 42 margin of victory over Emma Sharpless in second and a 2:59 gap over third place Felicia Robichaud. With a 30-second lead after lap 2, Farrow was able to simply focus on her own race all the way to the finish. Coming into round 5, the big storyline for the pro women continued to be the battle for second and third place overall podium spots between Sharpless, Robichaud, and Mila Paget. Robichaud was holding down second overall with 80 points, followed by Paget at 76 and Sharpless at 73 coming into the fifth round. In the race, Sharpless took the whole shot in the early lap 1 lead, but Vero had taken charge by the first checkpoint of the lap. Sharpless, though, put together her most complete race of the season so far by holding on to second for the duration and running lap times within 1 to 2% of the series leader for every lap except lap 4. Robichaud was pushing Sharpless hard on the first 2 laps, staying within 10 seconds of her. She gave up another 10 seconds on lap 3, but got that back in short order on lap 4 when Sharpless had her issue. Unfortunately, Robichaud's fifth and final lap was only fourth fastest, leaving her to bring it home in third place. Paget had a tough time on this technical track at Crabbe Mountain, losing approximately a minute per lap over the first 3 laps. Although she was able to run second and third fastest lap times on laps 4 and 5, it was never enough to threaten for the podium as she came home in P4. Coming out of round 5, Vero has an incredibly solid 22-point lead in the overall. As we noted after round 4, it's going to take some very bad luck for her not to defend her championship, as she only needs to average 4th place finishes over the final 3 rounds, assuming that Robichaud wins those rounds. In that battle for the final 2 overall spots behind Vero, it's Robichaud in second now with 100 points, and Sharpless jumping over Paget into third with 95 points to Paget's 94. It's incredibly close, and it's going to be interesting to see if Paget can put together a better race on another technical track at round 6's Mont Laurier. As always, thanks so much for tuning in, and we're looking forward to round 6 coming up this weekend. Our FMSQ coverage is brought to you by STP 1958, your one-stop shop for engines, clutches, engine rebuilds, and parts. Check them out on the web at stp1958.com or on social media at STP1958.